Today I'm going to answer the top questions that we get asked by our community about marketing for your business. This is going to span across local service businesses, home service professionals, and others, but we're going to take the top questions and we're going to answer them live. Let's get it. Okay, I'm spending $2,000 a month on Google PPC, but I'm getting terrible leads. What's the problem? There could be a ton of different problems here. I would say more than likely your targeting is incorrect. A lot of times people like to blame the platform and not their strategies. And people that don't really know what they're doing, they don't have a strategy, they just think, hey, I should go after this, popular keyword of flooring expert near me or something like that. When that might not be the best keyword for you to go after. It's going to depend on the categorization for your business, on your Google business profile, what your business actually does, what kind of keywords you have on your website. It's going to determine how good your landing page are when they go from the ad to the website. And then also your ad copy and creatives could play a really big role in that. So I would take a look at probably everything, but don't change everything at once. If you change everything at once and then it starts working, you don't know what change actually worked. So change one or two things, see if you improve. If it improves, great, do more of that. If it doesn't improve, change one or two other things and then do that until you find out what works. I've interviewed a lot of marketing agencies, but they're all too expensive for me. What can I do by myself for marketing? There's actually quite a bit that you could do by yourself to get started. If you're a local service business, home service professional, I would definitely say the DIY priority would be the Google business profile. Make sure you have everything listed correctly in your Google business profile, fill it out to the max, and try to get reviews. That's going to be your biggest task, is just getting reviews for your business. If you're not doing that, it's going to be very hard for you to actually rank. The other thing is, depending on if you did your website yourself, making sure your website stays clean, optimized, and it's performing properly. Outside of that, if you don't have a marketing background, it might be a little difficult to get kind of a winning strategy. So, and maybe instead of hiring a marketing firm, maybe you find a freelancer that can help for now to do tasks that you can't. Interview a bunch of freelancers. You can use like Upwork, usually is a little bit better quality than like a Fiverr or Legit or something like that. Upwork, you can typically find freelancers that are in your industry, that have industry knowledge, that are relatively inexpensive for some part-time or contract help. But there are agencies out there that are actually pretty cheap, maybe $500 or $600 a month, maybe even $1,000 a month if you can afford that. Plus, obviously, your ad spend if you're actually running ads. But that's what I would say. Do that, and then also try to do outreach by yourself and get backlinks to your website. So if you can offer a website that's in your niche and you can offer to do a blog article or something like that for them, and they include a link to your website inside that blog article, those would be the places I would focus for now. And then outside of that, without a marketing background, I would try to find a contractor. Someone asked, last year Facebook ads were crushing it. This year I feel like they're absolute garbage. What changed? Yeah, so this is one of those things that a lot of people don't understand. Your ad strategy is constantly going to evolve. You can't use the same thing year after year, the same strategy year after year, and expect to have the same results. There are going to be some elements that will continue to work time over time, but a lot of the times algorithms change, you get increased competition, there might be market saturation, there's a lot that adjusts. So keep that in mind, constantly be updating, changing, optimizing ads as you can. If something's working, don't touch it, just do more of that. But if you are not going through like an actual A/B testing phase constantly with your ads, then you're going to fall off. So try one or two ad tweaks, maybe some different creative, maybe some different copy, and then see how that works, and keep trying it over and over, and hopefully something will work for you. My website gets traffic, but I don't get any calls. What could be the problem? Well, there's probably a few reasons why this could be the case. Without seeing the website, I would say the first thing you need to check for is your demographic. What are they viewing your website on? Is it on desktop? Is it on tablet? Is it on mobile? If you're a local service company, local service business, or even a home professionals business, which is a lot of what we deal with, 85% or more of your traffic is probably going to be on mobile. That being said, you need to have mobile-friendly optimization done for the website. It's possible that you have some missing clear call to actions. So just because your website might look nice or have like good information for people to read doesn't mean they actually have some sort of call to action to get them to take that next step. Another reason could be no visible phone number. So if you don't have your phone number as a call to action in the hero, or maybe at the top right is kind of like a sticky header as you go down, or throughout the page entirely, then maybe the reason why you're not getting calls. It could be confusing navigation if someone's trying to contact you, but there's no visible phone number and they don't know how to get to your contact button or have any clear call to action buttons. It's gonna be really difficult for someone to actually reach out to you. HVAC person said, I have a lot of large companies in my area. How do I compete against these larger firms? Yeah, HVAC, plumbing, starting to see it in some roofing and electrical contractors. Private equity is coming in and have been for the past probably 4 or 5 years, like really making a huge dent into the blue collar workforce, home service professionals specifically. And they are essentially going into a new city. They buy one company, they spend a bunch of money on ads, they buy up all the other mom and pop shops, or they run them out of business, and then they kind of dominate that market. And since it is a recession proof business and industry, it's really, really lucrative for them. They come in with super low costs that you can't really compete with, and then as soon as all the competition's out, they jack up the costs, and that's where they receive all their profit back. So it's a long-term plan because they have a larger portfolio, they've got more funds. As a mom and pop shop or a smaller entity, the best way to compete is focus on locally owned, not owned by some big corporation or private equity. Be involved in the community. Personalize yourself on social media and on the websites. Don't use stock images. Pay the extra money, hire a photographer, have them come out, take images, get videos done. Use long tail keywords. Niche specializations in certain fields can be really helpful. So that's what I would do, and that seems to work pretty well for a few of our clients. It doesn't always work. Sometimes you just get beat and there's not really a whole lot you can do, unfortunately. But if you go into the marketing side, again, the long tail keywords for PPC and SEO, probably going to be your best bet. I have a limited budget. Should I focus on pay-per-click or SEO? Well, this is going to be determined by what your short and long-term goal is. If you are needing funds right now, you need to get leads, you need to close appointments, and I would say go for PPC if you have a good PPC strategy that you can implement right now. If you're a local service business, you can look at LSAs instead, and that's a pay-per-lead versus a pay-per-click. Or you can look at if you need more long-term growth and you're preparing and scaling for the future, search engine optimization is always a great route to go. Expanding on the amount of keywords that you're going after for your organic approach, increasing page counts with quality content on them, not just nonsense AI generated content, getting backlinks, link insertions, things like that to point back to your website to increase your domain authority are going to be a huge determining factor. I'm running local service ads, but I'm not getting any leads in. What would be the problem? Local service ads are tough. So once you get going, it's great. But getting going sometimes is really difficult. For one, make sure you have your profile completed in full. Your response time is a really, really big factor in this. If you do get a lead in, responding to that call or message lead as fast as possible. They take into lead response time as a part of how well they rank you. And then I would say budget and bid optimization. So I would remove any of the max bid and just set your budget as high as you can stomach. I have clients that have $5,000 to $10,000 a week per location, which is like upwards of like $35,000 to $40,000 that they're willing to spend every single week. However, across all locations, they probably only spend about $2,000 to $3,000 a month because it is pay per lead, and you only pay for good leads and you don't pay for unqualified leads. It's a really low risk. Just keep an eye on it and do your best. But those would be probably the best ways. And then it also takes into consideration your local search optimization as well. So making sure your Google business profile is built out, you're getting reviews, you're active on that Google business profile, you have a lot of local signals pointing back to it. That's important as well. So do those things and then see if that helps. Looks like maybe a plumber commented and said, my competition is getting a ton of reviews. I can't seem to get any help. Well, I would say that one, this is going to go down to a systems and processes issue, usually with your team. If you're not owner operated and you actually have a team that's going out and doing service calls, usually it's poor training or there's lack of incentive for them to ask for a review on the spot. That's going to be the best time to get the reviews, is when the technician is actually there. They sign the papers or they sign the iPad or whatever it is. You ask for a review right there. Give them a QR code. They can link it on their phone, leave you a Google review, make it as simple as possible. You can find a way to incentivize your technicians with spiffs or darts or whatever it is to get those reviews up front. That would be a big deal. You can also use things like Nice Job, who does automated review requests after a job is marked completed. You can set it up with like Zapier's and stuff like that to automatically send a request for the review to that customer. You just gotta be careful with that, because if they had a terrible experience and then you send them a link for review, you might get a terrible review. So just keep that in mind. Outdoor Landscaper commented, winter season is dead for us for leads. What are some ways I can keep leads coming in? Yeah, so seasonal service expansions are going to be the primary driver of leads. So you have to find things to do in the off season. If you're at a place where it gets really cold and no one's really working outside, so maybe it's in the northern states or something like that. I'm here in Michigan. So for us during the winter, nobody's really working outside because it's super cold. But what I have seen and be very successful for some outdoor landscapers is putting up Christmas tree lighting. I've seen guys make 6 figures in 3 to 4 weeks with 1 or 2 crews. So that might be able to help you through the winter. You could also do maintenance contracts. If you've done stuff throughout the summer and you have maybe like outdoor lighting or something like that, having someone come out and be able to inspect the lighting, make sure everything's functioning properly. If you lock in a maintenance contract where they pay like either a monthly or like a bi-yearly fee, that can help with some of the revenue during the winter times. Someone asked, what % of revenue should I be spending on marketing? This is going to be dependent on your industry, for one. Also, if you are new or an established business, there's going to be differences between the two, how much you should spend. I usually recommend no less than 4 to 7%. That's a pretty good even percentage of revenue to spend on marketing dollars, and that includes everything. That includes your ad spend. If you're hiring an agency, it includes their services, administrative costs, and tech stacks and things like that. Like 4 to 7% is a really good, it's a decent marketing budget. If you're looking to grow your business, you're expanding new markets, you're adding additional services, you're going after new keywords, you probably want to look at spending somewhere between 8 and 12% of your revenue on marketing alone. Again, it's going to depend on how aggressive you want to be. I know some guys out there spending 15% because they're trying to dominate a market and they're trying to run out their competition. So it really just depends on what your goals are. But I would say no less than 4 to 7% would be a good starting point. All right, should my roofing company be on all the social media channels? I don't like TikTok. Yeah, it's funny, as a marketer, I actually can't stand social media. It's kind of a necessary evil, but it can be a great tool. It just really depends on where your customers actually are, and then making sure the content you're posting is actually beneficial for people that are viewing it, and it's not just like mindless content. Having something that's of entertaining value, of educational value, actually helps. I think more so social media in home service industries or a roofing company is actually more of a trust signal that you're actually a business that is active and that is has credibility, essentially. That's what I would say. Just make sure you're consistent with it. Post stuff that's actually worth people's time when they view or they interact with your content, and then go from there.